Welcome to another episode of Week in Review. We've got 6 topics for you this week, including the final release of the roadmap update, the Mustang Rework, and the Gurzil system. So let's get started. Welcome back. So at number 6, we have the roadmap update. This week finally saw an update to the roadmap after a 3-week hiatus. The new roadmap sees a number of changes to the structure and plan, being met with a mixed reaction from the community. First and foremost, object container streaming and its related technologies remain in the 3.3 roadmap, being requisite for Hurston and its moons. Environment blender shading, weapon system refactor, and the VoIP and FoIP integration join the core tech section to round out tech improvements in 3.3. This is a good amount of content, and will pave the way for new game systems to come online in future patches. The Kasdak-Arms Kana and Hurston's Dynamic Attrition and Dominance series weapons are coming in the patch to fill the weapons section of this week's roadmap. As for ships, we see the consolidated Outline Mustang line having their revisions planned, the Aegis Hammerhead and Cyclone variants joining the Mustang, and the Constellation Phoenix rounds off the lot. For AI, we see a range of FPS combat systems being built out, hopefully giving us some more engaging gameplay from the AI characters we encounter in the verse. This pairs well with our 2 new mission givers planned for release, in Levski and Lorville respectively. We also see 3 new armor sets appear, with the RSI Odyssey flight suit being reworked, the Virgil True Def Pro armor set being added, and the Hurston clothing collection allowing for more choice around the planet. For location, we see Hurston as previously planned, all 4 of Hurston's moons, Lorville as a landing zone, and the addition of small rest stops in the verse. Finally, we see 13 items on the gameplay section of the roadmap. Ship system degradation will allow for components to get old and misfire or stop functioning. The scramble race will be implemented as we've covered before, and retrieval and delivery missions will be improved with delivery lockers, etc. FPS combat missions will start to appear in the verse, working with the new FPS combat AI to hopefully produce some well-rounded gameplay. Mining will be improved on planets, and we'll see asteroid mining introduced to further develop this gameplay section. Dedicated scanning and ping will appear to start to build out the scanning gameplay. Transit systems will be developed, which will find themselves used in various locations on Hurston for navigating the planet. As of 3.3, you'll be able to rent ships in Star Marine and Arena Commander, with this eventually planned to make its way to the PU. Improvements continue on the group system, removing some of the legacy contact screens and leaving the new Mobiglass integrated chat and contact systems intact. Manned and remote turrets will be further worked on, as we've seen in previous weeks, to make them better for players. No fly zones will be added, adding to legal gameplay systems planned for later releases. These will be used over cities, etc. in order to restrict air traffic. And finally, item kiosks will receive another design pass, polishing previews, comparisons, and a general functionality tweak. That's all for the roadmap this week. Now that we have a full roadmap, we can start to track weekly progress once again, and I'll let you know how things are progressing next week. Let me know in the comments what you think to these changes and whether you approve or if there's anything else you'd like to see added. At number 5, we have lore content. This week brings another double whammy of lore content, providing a subscriber exclusive look at the history of R&R and a Galactic Guide installment about the Gurzil system. R&R is an empire-wide chain of rest stops soon to be found in the verse. Made of modular components, they quickly came to dominate the Empire and can be found in many systems around the verse. This post covers the history of the company and the perfect combination of people and circumstances that led this company to exist. The Galactic Guide article covers the history of the Gurzil system, a very young system with developing protoplanetary disks. This is an amazing look at how planetary systems form, and it presents a wealth of scientific information for study. I'll link both posts in the video description. At number 4, we have Around the Verse. This week's ATV showcases more work happening on features slated for the 3.3 release. Hurston's moon, Aberdeen, continues to receive design and polish passes, and having another pass at blending of the environment. The Savannah biome also sees further work, with texturing and particle effects being the focus of this week's efforts. The rental experience for Star Marine and Arena Commander sees another UI pass and is now looking fairly polished. The Scramble race sees some tweaks to make it more fun. CIG are currently testing a mechanic to allow players to kill the leaders and steal their points to give an advantage to slower but more combat-orientated vehicles. The utilitarian HABs are also in the final stages of development, and we can now see them as playable entities in the verse. They're planned for use on Hearthstone, so we'll likely see them very soon. Power allocation is being tweaked further, with the amount of power allocated now affecting the amount of time that it takes to spool your quantum drive. We don't know how far this system will span just yet, but adding another element to immersive gameplay is always a good thing. We also got to look at 3 more ships, the Freelancer Max, Dur, and Miss. The Max is having its large cargo bay concepted at the moment, with CIG tweaking the design to make it match the concept, and the Freelancer Miss is having its missile loading capabilities built out to allow you to reload missiles from the cargo hold. These are planned for a 3.4 release, but CIG is progressing well on their development at this time. The Origin 890 jump also continues to be developed, with the luxurious interior being further fleshed out and is now looking to be mostly finished in terms of layout. That's all from ATV this week. Progress over at CIG appears to be going well, especially after the radio silence on the roadmap. Hopefully, as time goes by, we'll see more of these 3.3 features shown off in ATV. At number 3, we have Reverse the Verse. This week's RTV gave us a look at the upcoming Mustang series rework, showing off the current progress and designs for these ships, which are designed to release in 3.3. The LA team that are working on this ship were responsible for the Cyclone, Hurricane, Caterpillar, Aurora, and more. The Mustang is getting a rework for a number of reasons, including fixing the variants on CIG's side to make them easier to develop with, and improving the player experience, both for entering and exiting the ship and overall experience. CIG wanted to make the ship friendlier to new players. Under the current design, if you lose a wing, you lose your guns and landing gear, making it very hard to cope with that loss. The new variant takes a lot of inspiration from the Pioneer, having a clean canopy with no struts, and a single holographic display for the HUD. All of the cargo is now held underneath the ship, and the bay will descend out of the ship and down to ground level. The wings fold up on the new revision of the ship, allowing you to store more of these side by side in a hangar. This will be especially useful for orgs with a large number of new players in them. With the new Mustang beta, it's slightly taller than before, and players no longer need to crouch to fit through the ship. More Pioneer influences can be found here, with the new colour scheme and sloping walls. The ship looks and feels comfortable for a starter, and I'm overall quite impressed with it. The cargo space on the Alpha is used for habitation on the beta, and holds an additional engine on the Gamma and Omega variants of the ship. With the new racing variants, it is possible to have sponsor decals on the ship. It's not currently known if we'll be able to change these as players, but for those of you professional racers, you may be able to find sponsors. The Omega will come with an AMD logo on top of its red body to signify the limited promotion that was made available. All of the variants will come with a nose mount hardpoint, with the exception of the racing variants. This is replaced with an air intake for the additional engine. And that's all for RTV this week. The new Mustang reworks are looking very impressive in my opinion, and I'm really happy with how they're looking for Alpha 3.3. Let me know in the comments below what you think to them. At number 2, we have CIG events. Next week hosts Gamescom, so I'll bring you the latest news about what's been going on in next week's episode. If you find yourself in Cologne, Germany, head over to the event and to the exclusive subscriber town hall that will be happening in a bar on Friday. I'll bring you all the news and updates from that event in next week's episode. And finally at number 1, we have the community overview. The community this week are relieved to see the final release of the roadmap, even if some are disappointed about some of the changes. The community are somewhat skeptical about whether object container streaming will make its way into 3.3, despite Chris Roberts' repeated comments about how crucial it is for this release, but we'll find out in a couple of months. That's all from me for this week. Thanks for watching, like if you liked it, get subscribed for more Star Citizen content, and leave me a comment letting me know what you thought. I'll see you in next week's episode of Week in Review.